Hey guys, GT Machine here. Welcome back. Going to work on the Panamera here today. We're going to go and replace the whole entire center console. The leather's a little bit worn and there's an issue with the armrest lid. We'll go ahead and get it all replaced. I was able to pick up a cheap one on eBay that came with a lid and everything, so we're just going to go ahead and replace it all as one piece. So let me go ahead and show you the issue and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so here's the issue in the armrest. Right there by my fingernail. You can see the leather got damaged a little bit. And then these little side pieces here are heavily worn and they're part of the lower center console. So we're gonna go ahead and replace this entire center console. And then this leather piece here is worn as well. And then I got a broken cup holder here that's missing and fell in down in dash. So instead of just buying parts to replace it, I was able to score a whole center piece that came with this piece, leather piece here, this, and the whole bottom for cheap enough to where we'll go ahead and get everything replaced and just do it all as one thing. But if you guys have cup holder issues, which some of you do, or you want to install the other cup holders, I'll show you in this video how to get to them as well. The unfortunate part to get to the cup holders, they do screw in, and they screw in from the bottom up, which is not a bad design, just a little frustrating to where you gotta take everything apart to get to them. All right, so let's go ahead and get some tools and get started. All right, so first things first, to get to the console here, down below, we've got to take off all this up here. So first thing you want to do is take off this. We need to get to the bolt to remove the handle here. So just go ahead and get a trim piece and pops right off. And then you're looking at I think it's a T20 bolt. Yeah, I don't think it's T25. Yeah, T25 screw. Go ahead and unscrew it all the way, and then pull straight up, and it pops right off. Once that's off, now we can get to this trim piece here. It goes around the shifter. Take a trim tool, just pop up. Just be easy with the clips, you don't break them. It comes up, and then we got to take off a connector here. It's right at the back here. All right, so we're gonna need a little screwdriver here to get it out. So I got a little flathead. The lock is in between the connector body and then the base. So just push it back and then it comes right out. All right, once that's done, we can go ahead and get to this whole piece will come out next. So what you want to do is get in there, and then we'll try to pop it up from back here first. This is a little bit of a pain. Oh, actually, never mind. We'll take the parking brake out. So go ahead and take the parking brake switch out. That again isn't. Oh, this is a T20 now. Helps if I get the right one. Set that aside. T20. Go ahead and remove both screws for the parking brake switch. All right, now they're being, I can't get them out. All right, there goes one. And, come on. And two. Oh, so the parking brake, those two bolts have to come out in order to pop this up. They are holding it down together. So once it's down, you just pull up, it pops out. Just work it nice and easy to release the clips up here. So all I did there was just rock it, and then the one released. Come on, release. There it goes. Oh, now relock the other one. Oh, there we go. All right, so once it's up, take your parking brake, pull it up and out, and we'll go ahead and disconnect it. Push the locking tab in, pull it out, set it aside, and then we'll pull this out. We got to disconnect this as well. So just work it up and out, flip it over, go to the connector it's underneath, push the tab in, unlock it, pull it out. So now we're down to here. So now we got to take out the automatic center vent, and that should be 20s as well. Yep. Go ahead and take the two bottom screws out. All right, those are out. And then take the center vent and pull it to you. There's no clips holding it, it'll just come right out. And just be easy with it. There's a clip on, there's two electrical connectors on this one. One on the back, which you're going to need a screwdriver again for to release it. Release that one, and then we got the two control vent motors underneath. One, it's got a Christmas tree push connector. We got to release out of there. So go ahead and take our trim tool, just pry it out of its hole, or not. Being stubborn here. There we go. Got it out. Now we need to take off these two connectors down below. And we use our little screwdriver again, because the clips are a little bit hard to get to. Just makes it easier to get them out. All right, that's out. Set that down aside. All right, so now we're ready to move this side piece here. In order to get this out, we have 4 bolts, 2 on each side, one here, here, down here, and here. So get our should be 220. I'm gonna have to get a different size because I can't get in there with this, so I'll be right back. All right, got a tool short socket here. I'm gonna go ahead and get them both out. Just make sure when you get them all the way out, you don't drop them in the center console and lose them below. Three and one more. So if you have to replace the ashtray cover or mechanism, this is pretty much the way you do it as well, because it's bolted to the underside of this upper trim panel piece. All right, there's all 4. So now what we can do is take it, put your arms around here, or your fingers around the bottom of this, and pull up to dislodge the clips. All right, why isn't this releasing? Oh no, it did release, okay. So pretty much it's stuck on this trim here, so I'm gonna take the cup holder trim off. So in order to take the cup holder trim off, just gotta pull it straight up on one side and it pops out, just like so. So set it aside, open the armrest up. Now this can come up. And just work it slowly, and then we gotta work it back too. Oh, sorry, there's another screw. My bad. There's actually 6. Looks like somebody's been in here and one's missing. That's why I got thrown off. So I guess when they did my dash replacement, they put all of them back in but one, so that's what threw me off. There's actually 6 bolts that hold this piece on. So there's 3 on each side. There we go. Knew something wasn't right. There we go, much better. So now it comes out. And as I say, you pull it back and it slides out. Just be careful with the wiring harnesses you feed them through, and just take a note where they come from, because we'll have to go back in the same way or nothing's going to sit right. Then lift up and then out like that. Close the cup holder. I'll put this back because we'll need to reuse that again. So now we're down to here. Next thing we do is take off this insulation panel, which exposes the shifter. We'll set that aside, and we're going to go ahead and take the shifter out, because I'm going to reuse this because I know this works. I don't want to have any issues later. So all right, so next thing we need to do, take out, is start taking the bolts that hold the console down to the transmission tunnel here, and then we're going to get everything out. So let's go ahead and start getting everything removed. I'm going to go ahead and grab different tools for this, because I think this is they're T30s, I think. Yep, they're T30s, because I don't think I'm going to be able to unscrew it with the... Yeah, they're too tight. I need a tool. All right, so let me go ahead and get some tools, some more tools, and we'll go ahead and get all these out. Yeah, I can't get them out with the hand tool. I need a power tool. All right, got tools. So go ahead and take the shifter out now. Gonna go ahead and loosen up all 4 first. And I'll take them out. They are a little long. All right, and then don't forget the electrical connector. So this one has a locking tab on it. It's this red tab here. So go ahead and pull it back a little bit so it disengages, and then push down the lock, and then she comes out. And then we'll go ahead and set that aside as well for reuse. And then I'm going to go ahead and unbolt the front here. So you can either use T30 or 10mm for these. There's 4, so there's 2 here, right here, And there's 2 up here going straight down. We need to remove all 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's all 4 of them. One thing here, there's a connector right here that goes back into the console. Very critical that this connector gets plugged back in. If not, the car will not start. It's part of the immobilizer system for the key and everything, and there's a module back in the glove box area which has to be plugged in. Ask me how I know. But I learned my lesson. I think I was trying to fix my ashtray before I knew it was broken, where I had to completely know I needed it replaced, and I forgot to plug this back in, and I was playing hell trying to figure out why the car would not start, and that is why. All right, so now all the front's pretty much done and unbolted. As you can see, it moves. Go ahead and get all this back here unbolted now. So let me take a reposition here. All right, so first thing, grab my trim tools. And we need to take apart back here, this console area here. So first thing first, we need to pop off this top trim piece. So insert your trim tool in here in the side. Work it in there and just pop it up. Just be careful of the rubber gasket on it. And just work it. It pops out. There's 3 clips. And then just make sure your rubber's attached to it. And we'll go ahead and set that aside for later. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So next we need to get in the console, and there's bolts in here we got to take out. So let me get you repositioned, and we'll go ahead and get those removed. All right, so in the console, gotta remove this little rubber mat here. So pull it up from behind, and then just work it out. It comes right out. It's got little holes in the back that sit down slots to keep it from moving. And then we also got to take out this little panel here. But so we got 1 bolt down here we gotta get out, so I'll go ahead and take that one out. That's out. I'll take it. Okay, nothing underneath the front one there, so we can leave the front the small cubby intact. I don't see any extra bolts. Oh, this little thing's got to slide out. So we'll go ahead and get the iPhone holder out, which should be a T20. Yep, definitely T20. So this is that module I was talking about here. It's right here, that if you don't plug it back in, the car will not start. Because that hides one of the bolts that we gotta get to. So let me go ahead and get the module unplugged. Just be careful, it's got an antenna connector as well. See the antenna connector right here? Just be careful with that. Don't want to damage that. Go ahead and set that aside. Get this 10mm out. All right. and we're loose. So, all right, let me go ahead and move you guys so you can see all this come out. And the biggest thing we want to be careful of is all the wiring harnesses and everything. So if you have to, take a picture so you know where they all go. So you don't have to worry about it when you put it back together. So you know they're all routed correctly and right through the right holes. All right, so pretty much all I did was pull down on the cigarette lighter connector, and then I just pried up on the bottom pegs of the back plate back here, and it slid it, and it popped it out and slid it into the box here. So I'll go from the other side and get this connector disconnected. All right, we got it out. That was a real pain in the ass there to get these back connectors off back here, but we finally got them. That was the most difficult part. So we got it popped out, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide it out and take it inside. All right, as you guys can see, I got them out. This is the old one here. As you can see, this side leather is pretty much really worn. And then here's the new one. I've already cleaned it and haven't conditioned it yet, but we'll condition it once we get it in. It's in much better shape. And then this is a lot better here, and there's no damage to the leather up here. Granted, it doesn't have the Porsche logo, but I'm okay with that. If I want to replace it down the road, I can just do it through here. You can replace the upper console trim panel. And now, since you got it out, so here's the screws to get the cup holders. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But the only way to access these is from underneath. So if you want to replace your cup holders or put those ones in that you push the thing down and come all the way to the top and don't look like cup holders unless you want them, this is the way you're going to have to do it, and then you get into it. By down here, you can see the screws up in there. But we're not doing them here today. We're just replacing the console for a much fresher, newer look. So we'll go ahead and get the new console put in, and we'll go from there. Check your consoles, make sure there's no connectors underneath to swap over. So one thing I did find was here's the antenna I'm talking about, to where if you don't have this plugged in, this is why it won't start. I'm gonna swap my antenna over to this one because I have no idea what condition this one's in, and this one works, and I'd rather not have to pull the console back out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them swapped over. All right, one big thing you wanna make sure of is these cables back here for this back panel are routed correctly. If not, the center console won't sit down correctly. So once I got them routed correctly, it'll sit down. And then one way to check is you can look at the bolt holes and make sure that the console is pretty much sitting down on top of them. And then just check all your harnesses, make sure everything's routed correctly, which it is. So we're gonna go ahead and get it all back together. So let's go ahead and get it together. All right, so this panel was so much easier to get back on, taking out. So biggest thing you want to do is put it in, and then it slides up and down. And then once it's in, you push all the way back and push firmly, and then push straight down, and it locks right in place. So no big deal there. Made it a lot more easier. This is definitely the hardest piece to do, is right there. So once you got this in, it's pretty much home free. All right, so go ahead and get this back together. Go ahead and put the module. Go ahead and plug it back in. Make sure we do the antenna first. Clip it in like that. Grab the electrical connector next. That goes in the bottom. Slide it in. Make sure you hear the click. And then we're going to go ahead and spin it around. Make sure the wires are where they belong. And we'll go ahead and get it pushed down. All right, oh, we forgot the hold down bolts, so can't do that. Skipping steps here, man. Got to call me out. So we'll go ahead and don't move, you guys. Dang on it. Come on. Get these hold down bolts started here. All right, and then you want to start the front ones as well. So grab the other 4, 3 and 4, and then those go up here. Let's see if we can get you a good angle here to see them without repositioning the camera. I think we're good. All right, so you got one up here, one over here. Move the wiring harnesses out of the way. Come on. 2, 3 here, and 4 over here. So I'm going to get them started here. Make sure they're all threading in nice. All right, now we want to make sure we're pretty much aligned here. Looks like we might have to come back just a little bit here. Everything looks okay. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten them down. All right, there's all 4. So now we can go ahead and put this module back in place. We're gonna have to tuck the harness in a bit to get everything sit down, and then we just need our little T20. And, well, uh-oh, am I missing something? Is this a T20? No, it's a 30. We definitely don't need that. That's not it. Shit, it's a 25 probably. Yep. So it's always the last one you grab. So make sure this screws down. Like. Okay, why isn't this screwing down? Oh, I'm missing a clip. Gotta go get it off the other one. Be right back. All right, so we're missing this little clip here, so we're gonna go ahead and put it in there. Move the module out of the way. And ooh, definitely don't like this. So, I don't see this going very well. I don't know about this. Don't like it. Don't like it. I'm gonna drop it. Ah, and I just dropped it. Fudge. Nuts. Hopefully this is magnetic. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. All right, time to go fishing. Be right back. All right, I got it back to where I got it in. It's right there. I was able just to lift up the console and then fish it out of there. I saw it, and then I just used a pair of pliers, hold it, and then I slid it on where it went. So now we can put the module back in place here. Now we can put the screw in. it screwed in. Take our mat, wipe it off, and get her back down in there. And just get it pushed in the holes. Put any accessories you had back in there. This is my CarPlay device, so I'll go ahead and put it back in. Make sure everything's okay there. Everything looks good, snapped in. All right, so we're done in here. All right, so now we can go ahead and put together the front here. So scoop a seat up. All right, so make sure your antenna's plugged in. I plugged it in first thing so I don't forget. Go ahead and grab our upper trim here. I don't think we have anything. Oh, if you need to replace the cup holder or fix it, the bolts are underneath on this as well. I'll be fixing mine at a later date. So what we want to do is slide this in and lift up the cup holder, or the center console lid. And then one thing I want to make sure of is we route the harnesses correct, so the holes, right holes again. Make sure there's no issues there. We're not squishing anything. Make sure to route the parking brake connector through the hole. And then slowly guide it into place. Make sure we're not squishing any connectors. And make sure you pop the clips into the bottom here. Make sure they're in. All right, everything's in there. Close the center console. Now we can put our 6 bolts in on the side. I only have 5 because I'm missing one. So we're going to put 5 in. What I like to do is get them started by hand first before I screw them down. Just to make sure everything starts correctly. Man, why do I always keep grabbing the wrong size here? I'm just going to use this. All right, got them all started. I go ahead and get them tightened down. Just be careful because these are just pretty much snug. Don't over tighten them or you'll break the plastic. All right, one more. Come on, go back in. All right, there's all that. So make sure our harnesses are good. So now we're gonna put the shifter back in. Oh, again, dummy. Don't put things back in the right order. So now I gotta take that out. The shifter's got to go in first. I'll back off, show you guys that's the right way to do it. Feed the harnesses back through the holes again. Put this aside. Grab my shifter. So the reason why you got to put the shifter in first is to reach these back holes here. If not, it won't. Can't get to them. Excuse me. Well, I just did something really stupid. I dropped the bolt. Oh man. I gotta get a magnet for that. So this is what happens when you rush. So hopefully I can make sure it's magnetic. Yeah, it is. Ooh. Woo, got it. Thank God. Shoo! So, slow down here a little bit. Make sure I'm not no butterfingers again. Drop the bolts where they don't belong. Drop in a certain spot, I'll be really in trouble where I got to take out the whole console again. That would not be good. All right, go ahead and plug the shifter in and then push your lock back in like so. All right, make sure all the harnesses are good to go. Now I look like a dummy. This is like the third time I've done this. All right, there we go. Third time's a charm, right? I think so. All right. Just make sure the harnesses are routed correctly. Put the parking brake connector up through the hole again. Next time I'll do this in my sleep. Make sure everything's pressed in. Harnesses are good to go, or not good to go. Now they're good to go. All right, now the last time I put the bolts in. All right. Now we can close the cup holder, or not cup holder, the center console. All right, now the vent goes in. So make sure I'm not missing any clips or anything. All right, make sure you get it all plugged back in correctly. This thing's got 3 connectors all plugged in. Now we'll slide it back into place. And then we'll get our 2 screws here. All right, that's in. So now we can grab the this center button control. Go ahead and plug. All right, put the connector in, and then make sure we slide up the connector for the center shift bezel for the volume knob. We don't run that over. What the heck? Make sure we got access to the center, the parking brake connector. All right, once you have it set in there, just go ahead and push down. And everything snaps into place. All right, go ahead and grab the parking brake switch. Get it plugged in. And we'll go ahead and set that down into place. So you gotta feed the harness back through the hole there. Get it pushed in, grab the 2 screws. 1, 2. We'll get them screwed in. We'll get the shift bezel. Get it plugged in. Slide it around the shifter. We gotta feed the harness back in there so we don't smash it, and then push it down. All right, it's in. So now we need the shifter itself, and then this just slides straight down. All right, now we can bolt the shifter down. All right, get the top cover, place it on, rock it back and forth, make sure everything's okay, everything feels good. All right, we'll get the final touches on this and then start it up, make sure everything's okay. All right, so we want to take our trim cover here, place it on top, and then just push straight down until she clicks in. All right, push this the shifter trim piece in. All right, now we'll go ahead and get her powered up. All right, everything seems okay, no error codes. So we'll go ahead and start it up. All right, everything seems good. Let everything come up to spec. Make sure there's no error codes on the display. All right, the parking brake pick back up. It's set on the dash. We'll go ahead and check the climate control. Make sure the ventilation center vent is working correctly. All right, we got plugged in the correct side, so that's good. Didn't flip-flop the connectors. Make sure everything's working correctly. We'll go ahead and cycle the parking brake. Parking brake off. All right, parking brake set. Make sure she goes into gear. Oh, it's definitely in drive. Put it back in park. All right, everything seems to work. There we go. All we do is clamp the tools and we're good to go. And I'll go ahead and condition the leather, make sure everything's good. But all right, let me grab you guys here. As you can see here, nice new center console. Leather's nice and fresh. Looks so much better and newer than the old style. You can kind of see the difference between here and down here. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. Good. Yeah, let me turn the climate off so you can actually hear something. Actually, I'll shut the car off. All right, so as you can see, this is the old leather here. It's hard to tell, but between there and there, that's the difference. I'll be replacing this piece at a later date. Couldn't get this one in a good deal, but got the rest of it in a good deal, so I just went for it. All right, guys, GT Machine, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, and leave some comments below.